Yo, what's good? This your boy Chavo the Don. Real Talk Radio, Open Mic Edition. This is episode 1. We got a few topics that we're gonna discuss, so I'm gonna pass it off to my first guest we have.
Yeah. It's your girl, Mahogany Phoenix. I'm in the building representing Queens, and I'm really excited about today's show. Let's get it popping.
Let's get it.
Yeah, it's your boy Dubai Dame. If you just want to call me Dame, call me that shit. But yeah, we got a good show ahead.
Coming to you live all the way from Chicago, the one and only Dr. Funny, top tier.
Yo, I knew that was I knew that was
dramatic.
Oh my gosh.
He put the radio voice on and everything, yo. Yeah,
just regular.
Oh, did you really put your Old Spice voice on? All right.
This nigga came in sounding like a
that.
Superman.
We gotta keep that.
Sound like a superhero.
That's priceless right there, man. So,
I can't do that all day. I can't do that all day.
All right, so we're gonna jump on my back. Go ahead.
I was just saying, what's the first thing we're gonna try to knock out the box?
All right, let's go ahead and jump right into this Tay-Rock versus John the Don. I've been seeing a lot of back and forth.
Okay.
Some people got Tay-Rock winning. Some people got John. What's y'all take?
Me personally,
go ahead.
That.
Oh, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Me personally, man, I got mixed feelings about that battle because I'm not a fan of either or. I think, Tay-Rock is gassed. A lot of people have uploaded clips of, John stealing bars and stuff like that. So I don't know how to score that battle right there, man. But I'm kind of leaning towards Tay-Rock, even though I don't like Tay-Rock. But, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Oh, okay. What about
I had John the Don winning that one. First round, I gave it to John because Tay-Rock started off too slow. Tay-Rock tried to do some lyrical shit where he stepped out of his comfort zone. Normally, Tay-Rock is simple. He just do the simple gun bars, and he tried to do something different, and it kind of felt like it wasn't him for the first round. The second round was closer. I give it to John because Tay-Rock had a bar about rock slide avalanche. And, it's 2016. You can't be having inconsistencies like that in your round. I give it to John based off that alone. John had something he was talking about when he was talking about, like, glasses. Like, people think people with glasses can't really shoot or whatever. He flipped that whole angle. So I like that. I gave him points for that. The third round, John was like, it seemed like he was just out of it. And then Tay-Rock actually had a nice, clean third. So I gave it to Tay-Rock for the third. So I got John 2-1.
Yeah, if I can kind of piggyback on what Dr. Funny said, I do believe that Tay-Rock absolutely stepped out his element or his comfort zone in this battle, showed a great deal of versatility in his pen, or growth in his pen, I would like to say, because he said you got the worst pen in battle rap. I think John had said that in the third. That was one of the angriest he used. I really liked a lot of stuff he did in his first round, Tay-Rock. It just really wasn't enough versus John. However, in that first round, John had the suspect bars, with the the whole rock and roll shit and the Run DMC and all that. He was just so good, and I'm just like, oh my Negro, why? So, and then it would kill him for me is he opened the round up and said, yo, you talk about the steal when I'm already known for the steal, and then he steals in the first round. I'm like, my Negro. So I was nice. Really fucked up behind that round. But, a lot of people are arguing that it's similar, it's not the same. So if that's the case, I'm going to get it. First round to John, just because of the debate around the round. But that's the only round I gave him. I think Tay-Rock, again, was real consistent with that out-of-the-box shit. I disagree with Funny. That ass slide, avalanche, that shit was dope.
Yeah, but
rocks and avalanches. What are you talking about? There's rocks and avalanches.
Yeah, there's rocks and avalanches. But a rock slide is a rock slide, you know. But an avalanche is snow.
Everything underneath the snow is not snow, bro. Like there's debris under there. You fuck around. You step in the snow. There's a cave, and what's underneath that shit? A bunch of rocks. Your ass gets suspended in between rocks. There's people who had to slice their own fucking limbs off in rocks. Come on now, bro. We know the shit that's underneath the snow. It's a mountain, bro. That's rock.
So
Tay-Rock, hold on, Tay-Rock is known. Tay-Rock is known for being incorrect. He did the face on the 50 like Jefferson bar. Then he misspelled calendar. Like we can't be letting stuff like this ride.
But in this situation, that was not a reach. That was not an.
It was wrong. You can at least a reach is right, you know, but a wrong bar is a.
All right, but what does the snow sit atop? The snow is. What is the snow on? What is that? It's a whole mountain of snow, bro. Like no, it's not. Snow is
It's a rock. Snow is basically like frozen water, but softer. It's not too many rocks in an avalanche. Too many rocks.
I get what Mahogany is saying, but
yeah. So okay, you have an avalanche. So hold on.
I'm more incorporated with rocks and stuff like that. Like I mean.
So hold on. You got an avalanche, right? And just because the avalanche, which is 99% snow, you got one pebble in there, now all of a sudden is rock slide is validated?
That pebble is a rock, bro.
So it's validated because one pebble exists in the 99% snow. We got one pebble in there, and now it's a rock slide. Okay.
You can't discredit it.
All it takes is one rock to make it a rock slide.
Yeah.
All right. What you thought, Court? I mean, Chavo.
Yeah. Court is in session. Chavo actually, I had John the Don winning this battle. I'm still undecided if it was a 3-0 or a 2-1. That's the only debate that I have. I clearly had John taking the first. I did like that Pegasus bar that Tay-Rock had, though. I thought that was dope. I just felt like John was too consistent. In the second round, this is the only round that I felt like was somewhat debatable, and it's only because of that drawn-out scheme that John had that he ended the round with. But up until then, you know, like he was killing it. And then the third, I feel like he clearly took. That's when I think that was probably Rock's lightest round. So I had John clearly winning. I just don't know if it was a 3-0 or a 2-1. I'm gonna watch it again though. But that's my total, my general.
I think Chavo's biased because of that second round because Tay-Rock had a Statue of Liberty bar. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you know what? He did, and it was fire. I can't. No, I'm not gonna lie. That bar was fire. I was like, shit. I wish I would have thought of that.
That bar wasn't fire. It was simple.
It was simple. Sometimes a simple bar can be fire.
We know Doc is the most intricate person, man, because he don't like the simple stuff. So if something is one fish, two fish, he not gonna like the shit.
You ain't like that bar. Don't call me Tay, call me Sir Rock, my crown royal.
But you know what? First of all, I don't even drink Ciroc. I hate Ciroc. But you know, all bias aside, we've heard Ciroc so many times.
He
in
didn't
2015,
say it like that though. Come on, all right. Listen,
but still, it's
what James said. I'm not a Tay-Rock fan. I just feel like the boy his pen was expanded a little bit. I don't know.
Dr. Funny, you sounded a little biased. You gave John the win off of saying that he got glasses and he defended.
No. It was the angle. It was the angle he took because the second round he started off like how people throw like believability into this, and he'd be like, well, why y'all say he believably because he looked dirty, he got nothing to lose, but I got glasses. Y'all don't believe that I'm down to shoot. But you know, he was basically like painting that picture like don't let the glasses fool you, kind of thing.
Yeah. The only reason why I wear these glasses so I don't need to scope the shoot, stuff like that. Yeah. Which I thought that, and that was creative. I never heard nothing like that before.
Tay-Rock spitting a Sir Rock bar. I've heard that before. I've heard Sir Rock.
He said my Crown Royal was totally different than Sir Rock. It's totally different.
First of all, Sir Rock and Crown Royal, that's whiskey and vodka. So that's that's another inconsistency right there.
You know what?
The only thing that the only thing that he was missing is he would have said something like, "I'll lick a shot." That's the only thing that was missing. He would have been complete and simpleton.
All right. What do y'all think about Bonnie Godiva versus Marverse?
Oh yeah.
That was a fight.
Was it really a fight?
Yeah, I feel like it was.
Nah, Chavo, no,
Yeah,
it wasn't
Chavo,
a fight.
don't say it was a fight, Chavo.
Now, both of them were pretty.
Okay.
Both of them were body. Both of them were pretty.
There was a fight, but somebody got messed up. There was a fight.
I think I know who y'all say. I may be alone on this with them. Okay, I'll go first then. All right. You go round by round. The
we had a battle.
Oh, we got a battle. The first round, I had Marverse clearly taking the first. I think Bunny had some dope Marverse flips. Like I really did like the what am I waiting on Marverse for? Like I don't have a ghostwriter. The fuck am I waiting on Marverse for? I like that. I thought that was dope.
The suicide shit was coming out clever.
Yeah,
you would have thought I gave suicide verse. I thought that was dope. And then how she incorporated the Eminem stand shit, that was dope. She had, some pretty dope Marverse flips. But I just feel like Marverse came out swinging with the whole horsehair angle. And, you know what I'm saying? She said, Mav told Bunny to hold your horses. You know what I'm saying? And then you hear the niggas in the crowd, that shit was crazy. Like, and then she did the gas matter angle. And then she said, you're more known for giving that face than Jazz the rapper. I thought that was clever. She had the Hirachi bar. That shit was fire. So overall, I gave Marverse the first clearly, no debating. Like she drugged Bunny in there first. And then when it came to the second, I actually gave Bunny the second because I feel like she just had too many haymakers.
She had that extra scheme in the second, right?
Yes. She couldn't even get through the scheme. Everybody was reacting to damn near every line. But my favorite bar in that scheme was when she was like, the way you blue skin off niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like that was crazy. The whole mystique shit. And then she followed up with the I bet you went to the rooftop with Norbs you couldn't wait to jump off, and then a rookie mistake thinking you gonna make it to the main stage because he let one off in you. I thought that shit was crazy.
That was nice.
Yes,
and then she had put out the cell phone with the Mad Ills thing, like to go with the whole X-Men angle that she had. The shit was crazy. So I think she was kind of fucking Marverse up in the second, not to the same extent that Marverse did her in the first, but I think she, she did enough to clearly take the round. And then I think Marverse, she didn't kind of equal up to what Bunny had or do better, so I kind of edged it to Bunny in the second.
But she woke in the sleeping giant because Marverse was like, oh, okay. Got you right now. Ooh.
And
that third was crazy.
Got to the third, to be honest, I'm gonna have to watch it again. But it was kind of close to me. Like the only thing I didn't like was that it seemed like Bunny kept getting stopped, so she couldn't flow through her shit. So it did seem like Marverse stuff was more polished, but bar wise, it was sort of even to me. So it kind of came down to like a preference type thing. So I'm definitely have to watch it again. So far, I want to say Bunny 2-1.
No.
I want to say, but like bar wise, but I gotta watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm leaning towards Bunny. I'm gonna lie to you.
How I had it was, I had Marverse the first round clearly, like no debating. I did give Bonnie the second round.
Talk that
you know what
shit.
I'm saying? That third round though.
Talk that shit.
When she looked at her and she said, I got that Erica Badu pussy.
I forgot about that.
Talk that
you
shit.
got that. You got that.
Air out of room.
Yeah.
Talk that shit.
Nigga, that right there, nigga. To me, that was like the showstopper. Like that, right. That bar alone to me, like it made her third round like more concrete.
It totally
dismissed like,
everything. Everything she said there in that second round and talked about this woman's vagina and what she was doing with her vagina. She said, man, I got that Erykah Badu. You got that air out of the room. I was like,
that round,
life changing.
That right there,
life changing.
That round right there, that bar alone though made that round like so much more like concrete and effective. Like that right there was so effective.
Everything, man, it killed me. I mean,
so I gave it 2-1 my verse.
Okay. What before the next person speak? What round did she say you're one selfie away from having AIDS or something like that? Was that was the second or the third?
Damn, what round was that?
I don't remember.
She was wigging. She was wigging on Bonnie.
Who you had, Mahogany?
I got my verse 3-0. I got her straight 3-0. No disrespect to Bonnie, and I think it was a fight. It was a fight, but she got knocked the fuck out. Like she did get knocked out. She got knocked out in that third. You know what I'm saying? Because I agree with what Dave said. Like it was just that one bar because you spend so much time in one particular round concentrating on this woman's, lady part. And she just shut you all the way down with the most wittiest, clever, and because that was the topic, it was trending and it was just so on point. It was so perfectly. It was beautifully crafted, written. And she had a lot of shit. That was just one of them, in my opinion. It's too many quotables from that battle, to be honest. I mean, they both were fighting, but she just caught it at one time. Wow, that was it.
Like that. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's how I scored that battle. Bonnie definitely, she looked real comfortable. She looked real great. She was coming off that other battle with Homegirl. She rebutted that situation real nice. I thought she handled that well. She put that shit to bed. The ghostwriting, she kind of, she's like, man, I already addressed that shit. Fuck that shit. I thought she handled that well. I think she handled a lot of things well in the preparation for this battle with my verse. And I'm not saying that shit got mad replay value. Shit just got mad replay.
One thing I must say about Bonnie, though, that's watching her through the years and shit, the more she battled, the more she do seem comfortable and polished. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She's seeming more comfortable on, the platforms that she's on. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's on the smack stage or whether, whatever lead Queen of the Ring, she's getting more polished and more comfortable, you know what I'm saying, with her delivery and, just the way, it's so much progression I've seen with her, from her first battle to now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But my verse was just a little bit too much this time around, man. I ain't going to say too much, but, my verse just shows, she's a contender now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, been throwing her name in there, but she's showing, now she's a contender. She can get the jazz, she can get official support. She's showing that now.
I got a question, too.
She had a lot of room shakers. Round, she had room shakers. You know what I mean?
All right.
And I'm just thinking about state bars,
All right, I'll let the Funny give us his opinion on it, and then I'll ask this question.
All right, so this battle, I had my verse 3-0 body bag. Give me 1 second. So the first round, it was nice. Bonnie had some nice stuff, but then what gave it to my verse in that first round was the hair angle. That was my favorite, segment of that. And the whole time I'm just looking at Bonnie's hair, and I think she did the weave pat, I don't know, but it was just funny looking at that, I was like, oh man, weave jokes, hair, hold your horses, and then she said, just because you, what'd she say? Just because you got horse hair don't make you a black beauty. That was, oh my God, that was
cold.
me.
That was cold.
And then, so the first round I gave it to my verse hands down. The second round, Bonnie was spitting, and Bonnie was nice. I think it was this the one she had that X-Men scheme in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I liked that, even though it was, I was like, okay, X-Men, all right, it was all right. Then, but this was my verse's like lightest round. She was decent, but I think she had one bar in there. She was like, show her face the bottom of the barrel, remind you where you came from. That bar alone, like I was like, oh man, like that was like if you could win a round by one bar, that was the bar that did it. And then I think in the second round, Bonnie was also doing some stuff like saying, my verse, you're known for having sex with this guy and this guy, and the whole time I'm thinking like, Bonnie, you known for having sex with a couple battle rappers yourself. Like, don't be the pot calling the kettle black or whatever. But whatever. Then the third round came, and I forgot what happened that third round. I just remember Bonnie was like irrelevant, and my verse was just it was just too much. I forgot what happened in that third.
Okay. So you said 3-0 body bag, right?
Yeah.
Now, I got a quick question before we move on. Do anybody, because this is becoming, I'm starting to realize that this is an actual thing. Do y'all think that because we haven't seen my verse the top people before, that shock value played any part in this, or would you just say it was just skill? It came down to skill.
I think it was skill, because Bonnie has always been like a little bit above average to me. Bonnie has never been like groundbreaking. And my verse, I've seen my verse before. My verse was okay before, but I don't know. It was, but I think both of them did their thing, but Bonnie was always average to me. Bonnie was never spectacular.
I think
so
my
I didn't.
verse. Oh, go ahead, my bad.
You want to go first? You can go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I don't think it in this particular instance it was I think it was just the opponent. I honestly do. I think different opponents motivate people to write different, and that's what I think really happened here, because my verse up until this point has not been all that spectacular to me. You know what I mean? And I think that she had an opportunity to go up against somebody, and there was a lot of personals between the two of them saying, listen, I've been grooming you, I've been cultivating you, I've been bringing you up, and so on and so forth. So they had some history there. So, yeah, I think that allows, my verse to kind of really shine in this particular situation. So, what she do her next battle, I'm still waiting. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she's that bitch. And, motherfuckers got to prep to beat her. Nah, she still got a lot of work to do.
Okay.
I think I think it's I'm kind of on like both sides of it. I think it's because we've seen my verse performances, where it just seems like, okay, like she dope, she nice, But I think in this instance right here, it's more so like she had a point to prove. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bonnie is a name, amongst the female contenders. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is a name. So I feel like my verse knew that she really had to fight in this battle. She couldn't go light. It just wasn't, so-and-so versus my verse. This was Bonnie, you know what I'm saying? It's a contender. So she really had to be polished. She had to be comfortable. She had to come with not only great performance, but great bars. You know what I'm saying? And her bars really took a lot in this battle, because she came up and she put up a fight, and in most people's eyes, she won this fight, whether it's 2-1 or 3-0.
Right. Okay. One more question. You brought up a good point. Bunny is a household name, and she's very well respected. What do you think this battle in particular does for her ranking? Does it push her up? Does she stay the same? Does she drop? And the same for my verse. Like, do it bring my verse up, or like where does it leave both of them after this battle?
I think that my verse stock would go up, and Bonnie would kind of like level off, because Bonnie's still nice. Nobody's gonna like penalize her for having getting 3-0'd. But I don't know. I think Bonnie's stock would only drop only because she was one of the few female rappers that people had such high standards for. Like they kind of expected Bonnie to move heaven and earth, and I knew she couldn't move heaven and earth, and so when she got a battle and she didn't move heaven and earth, and then people said, damn, what is this? She didn't move heaven and earth. I'm like, well, Bonnie doesn't do that. Bonnie's never amazing or spectacular to me. I mean, Bonnie's nice, but I don't know. So but I don't think that. I think Bonnie is still nice. I think she's still gonna get the same battle she's been getting. I think she's still gonna get that notoriety. But my verse is definitely gonna get more recognition if a lot of people don't hate on her, because she light skinned and people hate light skins.
Oh shit!
What the fuck? Yo, I get what he was. I agreed with him on everything up until the light skin part.
Man, you know how it is. That's why people had Tay-Rock beating John the Don, because John light skinned. You know, light skins got to rap twice as hard.
Yeah, they do. They do, man.
They got to rap. My verse went out there, barred Bonnie's life away, and because she light skinned, people got a 2-1 debatable or 3-0. Possibly. We can't just say 3-0. If my verse was dark skinned, it'd have been a 3-0 bag, clearly.
I feel like that my verse next opponent, knows like, okay, I can't take her light because I know she may not take me light, and I feel my verse, her like whoever she takes next, possibly could be another contender. You know what I'm saying? Like she can only go up from here. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. And Bonnie's gonna stay the same. You know what I'm saying? Like Bonnie she done battled, a lot of big names, you know what I'm saying, as far as like female standards go, as far as like, female battle rap. And but yeah, it's like it doesn't add or take anything from her really. But for my verse, she did get a game. She got a game from this.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Let me see. Up next, this is something very controversial that's going on. And I've been seeing this all in the news. People have been talking about it. It's been trending on Facebook, all over the internet. Bill Cosby, man. Let's talk about it. I know this is a vague topic because you can go forever on it. But what do y'all think? Innocent or guilty? Who want to start?
I figure he's innocent until proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like if he's done any of these things that he's been accused of, and it's proven, I figure I feel like he should be punished for it. You know what I'm saying? But the way the media has it, you know what I'm saying, like automatically he's guilty. You know what I'm saying? He rubbed up against her breast. That's rape. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're portraying it. And then the women who are actually caught out there in their lives, like the spotlight is no longer on them. You know what I'm saying? Like they go off, they disappear, and it's like, okay, nobody's questioning these women about why they lied or why their stories don't add up or this and that. And another thing, why wait so long? Like, I don't know, like, it's a touchy subject for the simple fact, like, okay, I understand some women may not say anything about being sexually assaulted or this and that, but, like, some of these cases is from, like, 50 years ago. Some of these cases is from, like, 12 years ago. Like, why wait till the statute of limitation is up before you open your mouth about something like this if it really affected you that much?
Okay.
That's how I feel about it. It's a touchy subject because, I mean,
definitely.
You want people to be punished for it, if they've done some shit like this, because we all have mothers, you know what I'm saying, cousins, sisters, and all that, and, like, I'm pretty sure most of us would, like, blow our lid, you know what I'm saying, if we even thought a nigga, did something like this to them, anything. But on the other hand, it's like, speak up, you know what I'm saying? Like, be that voice in that moment. Don't wait so long and then nothing can be done about it if it is true. But if they're lying on this man to get personal gain, that's wrong within itself right there. That's how I feel about it.
Right. Okay. Anybody else want to speak up on this?
I just want to say, first and foremost, as a female voice on this topic, when we start to begin to ask the question, why do women take so long to speak up about stuff, trust and believe, that's really not the situation. A lot of times things can happen to us in situations where we know like a man has just done something to us, or not just men, but a person has done something to us that absolutely feels uncomfortable, and we know it's not right. And then when you actually, in situations, you'll build up enough courage to, like, go to a person, and it's not always the right person that you might go to talk to. You might be ill-advised on how to deal with that situation when it's being presented, you know. And I think about, and I really look at some of the women who have come out and made these accusations, and I think about even really looking back on my own personal career in the professional business sense. I can't even tell you how many times men have just absolutely said things that were just inappropriate or made me feel uncomfortable as a human being, not just as a woman. You know, and then somebody say, look, you know, that's just the way so-and-so is. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm like? You got to just, you know, dismiss that. And then, you know, it becomes like an unspoken culture. You know, you tolerate a certain type of behavior because that's just who an individual is. And then I look at the status of this gentleman, and I can understand and I can see how, you know, some women who may have been violated would not speak out in that time. Going fast forward into this current situation, I absolutely agree with you. I don't understand what happened to the system of due process. You know, the media convicted this man without due process. I mean, you have an accusation that comes out, and then you have a bombardment of physical images of this man's legacy and this man's everything just being stripped away because of an accusation. That would never happen to another prominent person of a different color in media or even politics or anything. That would not happen, you know, and that is where I'm disgusted at because, you know, it's always a continuous violation of who we are as human beings, who we are as a people, and it's fucked up. You know, it's just really effed up. Like, I really don't like that. Like, so, you know, with the Bill Cosby situation, I'm like, give this man his due process, let him have his day in court, and you know, let him face his accusations head on properly through due process, you know. But y'all, you know, the media, I agree with you, but, you know, you see this Hollywood star stripped off and the pictures and the images you see of him. I'm like, that's not right because you would not do that. And I'm mad at his legal team. I'm PO'd with a bunch of people because if it was a white person, they would have put gag orders in place. They would have sued these. They would have
hold up. To reach off on what you said, though, Charlie Sheen, you know what I'm saying, is possibly knowingly passing HIV to other women. And 2.5 men in every other show that he has on, you know what I'm saying, the anger management show, and they still play.
Syndication.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but as soon as an allegation comes out on a black man, you know what I'm saying, that nothing hasn't been proven, they automatically strip away the Cosby Show from network TV and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I felt that was wrong.
Yeah. They even removed this Hall of Fame stuff.
Even if you have an issue with Bill Cosby, what about the other actors on that program?
Exactly.
Why are you penalizing them and their residuals and the things that they get from one allegation from one individual cast member? That's not right either.
I feel like the men in our culture, you know, black men, like Plexico shot himself, right? Shot himself, right?
Yeah, I heard he went to jail for that. That's
if I went to shoot myself in the foot, right? Why should I have to go to jail for shooting myself in a foot, like in my foot? Like why?
I never understood that.
That was crazy. Because who's the defendant and who's the plaintiff in that case? Like who's filing what court?
like who? Like, for real? Like how am I going to press charges on myself for doing this to myself? Like. I understand reckless endangerment, you know what I'm saying, and happen, you know.
But not no jail time. Maybe a fine.
Shooting. Jail time for
maybe
like, black men in our society, they just get crucified. You know what I'm saying? crucified and
Yeah.
punished severely.
He would
like,
have been better off saying he was cleaning his gun and it was an accidental discharge. Then maybe he would have got a lighter sentence. I don't know.
I don't get it.
Hey guys, I got a question right quick. We have a caller on the line. He was actually supposed to be an original guest from the start. You guys want to bring him in or wait till the end of the show?
We could make him wait because we started on time, and he tried to call up late.
It don't matter to me. Who is it though?
It's Akbar calling out of New York.
Oh yeah, he could. Yeah, he can come in.
All right, I'm gonna buzz in.
Early.
Akbar, you on the line?
Turn these lights up. Turn this mic up.
I was gonna say about the Bill Cosby thing. I definitely think it's like all a hoax or some type of conspiracy type of deal, because one thing I do hate is that there really are victims out here of rape, and that's a serious issue. But then you get this kangaroo court type of deal where women have been changing their stories, saying, oh yeah, me and Bill Cosby went to dinner. He spilled the drink on me, and he threw a napkin in my lap, and I wiped it off. Now all of a sudden, he drenched you in oil and shit and rubbed you down. And that's the story now. And women are just
Gloria. See, that's Gloria. That's Gloria with a BS, man. I can't deal with it.
And that's what's happening though. And then it's like, and then
I'm gonna slap her because you got real shit going on in the street.
Yeah, it's real allegations out there, but we cannot even focus on like the real situations because we got so much BS that's watering everything down. We got women that are known liars that have been convicted before for lying on rape, and now they're back again doing the same thing. And I really do, I really distrust and I really dislike the media for not putting these women on blast. It's like a woman goes out and says, oh, he raped me. He raped me at this date, at this time, in this city. Oh, well, we got footage of him being in a totally different city the date and time you said it happened. Oh, well, maybe I forgot, blah, blah, blah.
If that was Jay-Z or 50 Cent, the media would be all over his lies, correct?
I want to say, for starters, since we're already on the topic of the media, I can't get mad at the media. I can't get mad at, a pathological liar for lying, all right? They're known to lie, all right? You can't get mad at someone who's creating patterns.
I'm mad that I had to click around and look for the pathological liar. It wasn't just thrown in my face like the accusation. That's what I want. If you're going to throw accusations...
The media journalists have a responsibility, Akbar. Come on.
No.
Do your research.
Hold on. Yes, the media has a responsibility, but lots of people have responsibilities, all right? Because you're supposed to do something doesn't mean you're going to do it. And we should know that by now. The media have been doing this for years. And at the funny point, as for the stuff not being in your face, if you were just on my Facebook page, it would be on in your face all the time, man. But
the problem is they don't want to expose like inconsistencies in story. Because a lot of people make this point, like the reason why women do wait so long is because when they come out, people like do the slut shaming shit and the victim blaming shit.
Which is a fair point.
Fair point. Yeah, that is a fair point. But it doesn't help the case when people are lying. So if you come out and say something and people say, oh, you're lying, you lying, that is an issue, but it does not help when you act. It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't help when you actually have people lying.
Again, I agree with that. But
hold up. Let Mahogany get around off right quick. What happened?
No, I'm just saying I agree with that, and I'm saying this: you cannot undermine the fact that you got a set line of real victims. And then you got predators. That is the defense attorney's job to weed those people out. So when we get a situation where we got a goddamn Gloria Albright in the fucking scenario, she pisses me off with her fucking BS, because it's all about getting settlements for her clients and not necessarily justice. Because $50,000 is not going to necessarily offset a woman's pain and suffering or anybody.
Right, but you gotta take what you can get, because at this
time,
I'm saying for her, she has to take what she can get because she can't prove anything.
This, but I'm saying I'm not. The monetary value is not the focal point. The point is that Gloria's objective, because she's gonna get a PC or whatever the hell she bring in.
But
That's
the
her
thing
bread and
is,
butter. My point is this: like, you have real victims, and then you get this submergence of snakes, or what you calling liars, okay, that jump on a bandwagon or something, and they have no problem with saying, yeah, it happened to me. What do you do? How do you separate that, and how do you really protect? Or, is this a bad look all across the board, man?
And the thing is that I wanted to try and touch on before I got jumped. But the thing is, Funny made the point that that the liars don't necessarily help out bring out the people who are telling the truth. But each case is supposed to be looked at as an individual case. The other stuff is not supposed to affect your thoughts. You're supposed to dig into this particular case, check all the flaws or the abnormalities or whatever it is in this case, and then decide if the person is lying or not. We shouldn't be letting all these other cases affect it, because then that's how the slut shaming begins, or the this girl is lying begins, or whatever.
But they come in as a fucking class action lawsuit against somebody. Like they all join forces together. You get 50 women. They all together under one document with different.
The thing is, 30 of those, 40 of those women don't even count. That's the statute of limitations. Legally, we shouldn't even be paying attention to that.
Oh, and that's the point I was trying to make. The statute of limitation. It's like there's no evidence now at this point. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all you have is hearsay.
That he's innocent.
It's persuasive, and it's a motive. It's a motive.
Right.
All you have is hearsay at this point.
Yeah, man. They said something happened with Liberty Tax people. Like, oh well, we put you in this class action lawsuit because I don't know who the fuck felt like they wanted to sue like the tax company. Like, well, you had services, and you can benefit from this. I'm like, no, I don't know what y'all talking about.
and like what makes me think about it is like a lot of the because it's past the statute of limitations or whatever. It's at the point now where it's like you cannot disprove or prove anything, so it is mostly hearsay. So then that makes me think like the women that are actually coming forward now is not for justice.
How do you have
it's not for justice because.
But how do you have a statute of limitation on race though?
Well, because it I don't know how they have it, but even without the
maybe because of the DNA thing,
even without
they used to trace it.
Because even without even if they didn't have that statute of limitations thing, it's at a point where you cannot prove or disprove it as time goes on, because rape cases are hard to prove. Even if you go the very next day. Yeah, if you go the same day or the next day, it's still a challenge to prove. You got to do DNA lab work. When it's years beyond that and you don't have any types to prove, then it's kind of like it's no way to prove and disprove. It's pretty much hearsay. And it makes me,
DNA only proves the act of the sex or
but that's what you need.
Hold on.
You need the act of the sex.
You don't change this legislation because this is.
Yeah, but no, you the DNA can prove that, and but it's other stuff too. Like you have phone records of maybe inappropriate stuff. Like if there's any camera footage, that'll be appropriate that they can show. It's certain things, or signs of struggle. If you show up to the hospital, right? If you show up to the hospital, you got signs of struggle. That can be looked into. If they do a toxicology report, they pull your blood work, they found out, you had this drug in your system, that works too. All that evidence isn't there 30 years ago. So when it gets down to what you can prove, when it gets down to what you can prove and disprove, it's kind of you can't. And so now it makes me think the women are just doing this for defamation only, because it's not for justice, because justice would have happened before the man already lived 30 more years of his life normally.
This was a well-calculated plan, because like we said before,
that's an assumption. You can't say that the women are not doing that for justice, though.
Okay.
No, it's not for justice.
I'm not saying that all the women in a situation.
If I was violated by a man, you can't say that, okay, 30 years later, okay, I got a group of women, oh my goodness, we've all been in this situation, and somebody says that there's an opportunity for you to get some justice for what happened to you. If we unite together, you can't say that. This is the thing.
I'm not saying that all these women are fabricating their stories or lying or anything. I'm saying, like,
we know women are lying. We know that. That's evidence. That's proof. They should have been thrown out. But we also know he didn't settle multiple accounts of cases.
True, but the thing is, like, if it's true, he need to be punished for it. But
all right, and his punishment
I'm defending his right to be innocent.
Yeah, exactly. Then exactly, his right to be innocent.
Proven guilty.
Because we gotta look at some stuff in America, yo. There was a man, I'm pretty sure in New York, got convicted for 28 years for raping a woman because the woman said she saw him in his dreams, so it must have been him that raped her. When it turns out another dude who went out raping somebody else admitted to raping her, and that dude is still behind bars right now. We gotta look at the fact that Michael Jackson was, portrayed as a pedophile, even though he didn't touch none of them boys. After he died, they all admitted no one touched them.
Exactly. A lot of them kids came forward and said their
DJ
parents made them do it.
Exactly. A friend of DJ Black came out and said, they conspired.
This is going to bring me to the subtopic with this. I'm going to have to call time on this subject pretty soon because of the time frame with the radio show. I hate to cut you guys off because I know the conversation is getting good. This brings me to my next question. Do you guys, I know someone mentioned this earlier about a conspiracy, saying there's a lot of talks about Bill Clinton buying a network. Do y'all think that this has anything to do with that?
You mean Bill Cosby?
I read,
Bill Clinton.
Bill Cosby, he was trying to buy a network, and from what I read, he proposed to buy it and they denied him. And then these allegations came out, so he wasn't gonna buy it. It wasn't like set in stone. But then again, you can always buy some. Money is power. If you have money and you say, I don't want to buy this, they can tell you no. Then later you may be able to haggle it out. But I don't know. I think that all these people coming forward, it's definitely like, all right, no, we definitely can't sell it to you now because of all this shit that's going on.
I think it's really a multi-level of some deep psychological stuff that's playing on things that is really getting people emotively charged, and that's the conversation that is spearheading a lot of stuff we see in the media. It's the fact, like, here I coming in with my feminine energy, probably it's going to be reduced to that. And saying, listen, in the grand scheme of things, this stuff is happening, this F up. And then it's on both levels because you have people who are capitalizing on something or individuals who are signed up for this assignment to assassinate somebody. And then here you have real individuals who are going through this. When you have cases like this, when you have situations like this, it sets a legal norm. So when I'm coming, or if me and my home girls and my sisters we're on campus and somebody decides to give us some little drugs and this shit happens to us, it's like, oh, well, she's just looking to destroy his career because he's a black man. The fuck you mean? You understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
It's a double standard,
it do tarnish like the women who are doing this for personal gain.
I'm mad on so many levels with the situation.
And monetary gain, it does tarnish their the actual women who have been victimized. It does.
Yeah. And
it's like the boy who cried wolf. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is right there. You know what I'm saying? You got one person coming up. You know what I'm saying?
It's not cool. And it's not cool. And to just go back to your question, because I got cut off, I just wanted to put that in there. And to say, if he was going to buy the network and they was trying to shut him down, You know, they've been after Bill Cosby. If you really want to start talking about the attack on Bill Cosby since his son, they've been after the man for a minute.
All right.
They've been after him for a minute.
Wait, hold up. I want to address the question too.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, like Phoenix said, they've been after him for a minute. Let's not. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've read this on a couple of sites, but you know, this is the age of false information. But on a lot of sites, I've seen that he was on the president's hated list. So a man had the government against him. You got to remember, a woman came out and said, back in the 70s, 80s, people were trying to pay her to, help sabotage the man's career. Mm-hmm. Like, when we see the type of government we have, we see the type of country this is, right? Even JFK got his hands dirty. He sent niggas to go kill Fidel Castro on some sneaky shit. So, it's like, the conspiracy, I'm not saying they right or wrong, but you always got to give them their time of day, man. There's a whole bunch of secret societies you don't know about. I'm pretty sure about that.
I can see that it's the black man and the black people, like the black men in general, is always guilty until proven innocent, until the actual facts come along.
You're guilty if they already set you up, Dane. Once they already position you for your guilt, like, that's you done. That's it.
It is not so much as like guilt.
It's not so much like in court. You know what I'm saying? If it's proven, you know what I'm saying? Like if these women are telling the truth, like the ones that are telling the truth, I figure he should be punished for it. But don't like it's just he being crucified. And a lot of people know I don't like Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? I really do not like. I hold a disdain for this man. I'm just defending his right to be innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Whenever that time comes.
I got a question, and we can end this topic on Bill Clinton with this. What would be if you could say
Clinton?
Clinton. I'm sorry, y'all know what? I'm stuck on the presidential shit. My bad. I've been saying that shit all week.
That man fucking. I guess you know who you voting for or who you have voted for.
Chavo voting for Hillary Clinton.
Oh Lord. But if you could offer one suggestion, whether it be to the women in this situation or to the future Bill Cosby's, like what would it be? One suggestion to either or both.
If you rich and you a man, or if you just rich and you a celebrity, you need to just start filming everything. Just set up cameras in your house and record everything. Have your own little personal porn collection, self-made, whatever. Just keep it because seriously, man, it's crazy. Like it's crazy. Like I remember some woman tried to say Derrick Rose raped her, and then I think what happened to Kobe Bryant case? Did that was he convicted or was he innocent or what? I haven't heard nothing about it.
Sure.
Like was the women?
We gotta fact check that one. I forgot how that even turned out.
But you see how crazy that is.
He's still playing basketball. I mean,
right. But you see how crazy that is. Like a woman accused Kobe.
But motherfucking Ben Roethlisberger can still fucking play football, unfucking touched, unfucking phased.
True.
This motherfucker.
But this is the thing for the women that I would have to say, right?
I'm done.
We live in an age of communication and technology. There's so many different outlets you can get your, like if you don't want to go to the police or something, there's so many different outlets, you know what I'm saying, for you to speak up and be a voice, you know what I'm saying, for the women who are being victimized, and maybe that will help them, you know what I'm saying, well, I don't have to wait this long. Maybe I can tell my story this way, you know what I'm saying. There's different outlets now, you know what I'm saying, to speak up.
Right. What about you, Akbar? What do you have any suggestions for either one?
Like Dan said, I know it's hard, but you gotta speak up immediately because you taking your time. It's not helping no one. It's not helping you. It's not helping future cases or whatever. So the future Bill Cosby, don't be Bill Cosby.
Good.
All right. What about you, Mahogany? You got any suggestions for either or both?
My suggestion to women would be, understand that, the stuff these men talk about and how they live their life, and when they be giving it up, take it as true. If you're not really built for that universe, don't even go over there. If you're going to feel violated when it happens, yo, we'll rap. And then, secondly, to the men, like, yo, like, honestly, I would just say, listen, dude, go find, like, places where there's professional women that's their fucking job title. I like to be smacked and choked. I like to be ABC. Like, yo, it's a professional businesses that do that. And you hire the person and keep it moving. You know, like, keep it moving.
All right. That's going to conclude our discussion on Bill Cosby. Moving next, we have the Tiger situation. I'll keep it a million. I'm not pretty versed on this topic, so I really don't know what's been going on. I've just been hearing a little bit. Anybody would like to discuss that and bring the listeners up?
I would really like us to keep this topic brief, because it's the same line.
This is the same assassination of character type BS.
Oh, okay.
Assassination of character, but more importantly, you know, this is a gentleman who somebody needs to tell him, his manager, you know, that's actively speaking out every time situations happen, like he a goddamn attorney and shit. You know, somebody need to tell him he need to get himself a new goddamn manager, because
who we talking about?
Tiger.
Like, yeah, his manager just got him out here looking crazy. You know, and he always speaking on behalf of this gentleman, and his, you know, the same scenarios and situations always keep coming up with this dude. You know, somebody needs to tell him to calm his little ass down, relax and sit down. You know,
but who's also the attorney in this case for the young lady?
Oh, God, there we go. Here goes Gloria again. Goddamn.
There we go.
Yo.
This motherfucker.
There we go.
Gloria be everywhere, high profile shit. This little.
There we go.
She's a Hollywood attorney.
Not only,
you know what? That's all I was going to say about it.
Not only that, you still got this little 14-year-old blonde-haired, blue-eyed young lady who is aspiring to be a music artist. You understand what I'm saying? You got to watch the game. You feel me? And she's saying, look, he hit me up. He was DMing me. He was doing ABC. He wanted to FaceTime me. Now, her manager is saying, look, he was trying to find out what was business. They turned the shit into some sexual shit.
And he asked her on numerous occasions, like in the messages, well, how old are you? The first time she ignored the question and started talking about something totally different. The second time she gave him the answer, she didn't say she was 14. She said she was 17 years old.
First of all, I don't believe she's 14 anyway. She looks 22.
Yeah, but
wow.
One thing about Tiger, like you can't be like, I don't know, man. You can't be messing with young people, even like if they look young, or it's certain things.
You're looking for the aspiring artist. If you're trying to move your career, your label, whatever your business aspirations may be. If you find somebody who is telling, this is my plan, I agree with you. You don't make contact. That's what your manager for. That's your manager make contact. Don't contact these individual persons.
Okay, I got a question. So are y'all saying that Tiger hit up this girl who's underage, and he was hitting her up for like business purposes and music wise, and she said that it was sexual?
That's what his camp is saying. Her camp is saying he was making, inappropriate advances for her. These are all allegations. No charges have been filed. Okay.
They making it seem like Tiger.
So they do press conferences, and they having all these conversations, and ain't nobody been, investigated or nothing. This is what Gloria fucking does.
They making it sound like, though, that Tiger is walking around with kids' meals and dating girls with Disney Junior and Chill.
Thank
you. That's how they making it seem. Like Disney Junior and Chill.
Bullshit. and
but,
ain't nobody went to no police station or nothing.
Exactly. It could have been innocent. It could have been.
And the reason
innocent.
why they said that Shorty said, and she came out and she had a little press conference, peep game, is because it was reported in a tabloid that Tiger was supposed to be dating a 14-year-old girl. Well, Gloria, you think Gloria ain't gonna spend a couple of dollars to shop that little bullshit stories in a tabloid?
Yeah, but they just making it seem like Tiger is walking around with Happy Meals and Disney June subscriptions.
Gloria, you fucking the game up for real women who are being victimized by fucking scoundrels and this predator.
He's an opportunist. Opportunist. That's exactly what she's
cool. Not cool, lady. I don't like that lady, man. I don't like that lady.
Listen. All right, Tiger's not doing nothing wrong. All right. First of all, highly illegal age. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, but it. I mean, if you in your 20s,
specifically, I'm not getting into this nigga.
If you in your 20s, you don't need to be talking to nobody that's in their teens still.
And you know what? How many of our parents are the same age? I know mine are.
Mine are.
And I got a question too after that. After you answer, I'm sorry.
All right.
What'd you say about what day and age?
How many of our parents are the same age?
My parents both the same age.
My parents are like 2 years apart.
Right.
So, but
Tiger, I'm pretty sure Tiger and his family is of Caribbean descent. People on the island, lots of them, the ages are not that close. They're 5-6 years apart sometimes.
All right. I have a question. What is I guess federal nationwide legal age of consent? Where you can
it's different from state to state. It's different from state to state.
Okay. Are they both from the same state?
They both live in California. I think there is 16, 17? I would say I could be wrong. I didn't fact check this, but yeah.
I think it's 17.
But this man did make a song though as soon as she turned 18, and he said, "The big girl, dog. She stimulated." Like,
I'm not doing that with y'all. I really.
I'm just saying on so many levels. But the thing is though,
because they're not going to take me somewhere else with this gentleman, and I'm saying
he's 20
or this man or whatever.
That's why it's a touchy subject, because you can on one hand you can say with the 14-year-old girl, you know what I'm saying, like he was trying to pursue her for business. But
you say he's 26.
That's his MO. And I'm just saying that Gloria knows that's his MO. That's how he approaches chicks. That's how he gets the young. That's how he baits women. Period. With this introduction of, but we ain't gonna get into that.
Okay.
I mean,
we can keep this.
But if you his concerts, don't you have to be 18 to get into his concerts?
No. When you need an age to get into a concert.
I don't know. I thought you can't. I thought 16-year-olds can't go to certain concerts. Like if it's because with the stuff he rap about, it ain't for children.
If you can.
That's how Akon got caught out there, man. Akon did a performance a few years ago, man, and he lost his Verizon deal because there was a girl who was supposed to be 18 to get into the venue, 18 or older to get into the venue. She was only 15 or 16. And he didn't know at the time. He picked her up on stage and he dry humped her and simulated sexual acts. And he lost everything from that because she got into a venue where she was underage and she wasn't even supposed to be in there. So I mean, in this society, when you are a man that's established though in this society though, like there's certain ways you gotta carry yourself and proceed with caution because every little thing you do, you're being watched. Right. No matter what, you're being watched, and they're waiting everybody is waiting for an opportunity to take advantage of that. So you have to, hold yourself accordingly. That's what I'm saying.
When you get into these statuses, you gotta make sure you can't. The people around you keeping you focused, man.
Listen, if I'm in the Powerball.
That's true.
I can start looking at birth certificates and shit like that.
I just look at it.
Time. It's called time. I'm on this subject. We got to keep it moving. We have one more topic coming up next. We almost approaching that time. The last topic of the show is going to be Chirac, the movie. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to be silent on this one.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I know spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Oh, yeah, spoiler alert. Well, I mean, it really ain't no spoiler. Okay. I'll go first.
I don't watch movies anyway, so it don't matter. Let's get it.
Being from Chicago, I like this movie. I liked it a lot. When the movie first, was shown to us, a lot of people was, let's be honest, a lot of people was expecting a Straight Outta Compton Part 2. That's what we wanted, and we didn't get it, so we was a little upset at that. That's what it was.
Okay.
I mean, that's exactly what it was.
Talk that shit.
It was, but then going into the movie, you go into it with an open mind, actually like look at because I think the first opening scene, they start showing statistics. These how many people died in Iraq war, and these people died. This is how the numbers of people died in Chicago, and the numbers was ridiculous. And it's like, we're not at war. This is a city that's just trying to live life, but we got death rates higher than countries that are at war. That is a problem. And I think Spike Lee was just trying to show, he was using satire, and a lot of people didn't know what satire meant, so they just, why he making fun of it, blah, blah. He's not making fun of it. It's satire. It's supposed to get you to think and see problems, how they exist. And to get people like thinking about stuff like, yo, this city is really fucked up like this. We got to do something. What could we do? And this was like a possible what if hypothetical situation. There was a lot of cringeworthy moments. There was a lot of stuff that's probably inaccurate. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to look at this movie and take from it that some kind of change has to happen. If this movie would have been a Straight Outta Compton Part 2, it would have just over-glorified more violence and just normalized everything, and people would have just accepted it the way it was, and nothing would be talked about.
Exactly. My thing was, the movie, I enjoyed the movie. It was a lot of moments in the movie I enjoyed. I understood the message, you know what I'm saying? But to people who don't take the time out to digest it, how it was packaged may be a problem for them, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people had a problem with Nick Cannon playing, who he played in the movie and stuff like that, but it put a spotlight, you know what I'm saying, on what's going on in every hood in America. But at the same time, it over-sexualized, you know what I'm saying, women, in a sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but in the black community, in our rap music and what we show online, I mean, go to World Star Hip Hop now. What do you see? You see violence and over-sexualized. Like, all our rap music, that's all we talk about.
I would like to hear Dame's perspective. You gave it
Right.
I mean that with no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I would like to be able to get to my point.
They had a beautiful, leading actress in the movie. I mean, she did her thing in it as far as like, and me and Dr. Flynn discussed this earlier this week about her being natural. You know what I'm saying? Like the natural skin color, the natural hair. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a nice take on things. And like in the intro of the movie where she's walking, you see, like advertisements for weed and malt liquor and stuff like this. Only natural thing in the surrounding. So that to me was kind of poetic in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But it's like no pussy, no power. It's kind of the thing that come on, like pussy ain't gonna solve the fucking gun violence in America. I understood the message, but it's how it was wrapped. It's how it was delivered that people are not going to be able to digest and appreciate. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt about it.
Okay. What about you, Mahogany?
You were talking about first, guys.
I didn't see the movie, so I can't say nothing about it. But I will say, Dane, close the source with all the big words.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, so this is my honest assessment of the movie. I absolutely agree with both of my brother's perspectives on this film. you know, is dead on, is spot on. I think Spike was really, what's the word I want to say? I think he was in tune with the youth in a way. Because this movie is not for, you know, older generational people. This shit is for the youth. You know what I'm saying? And even with just, you know, introducing the film, but even also not just appealing to what their sensories are, but they're introducing them to a new concept of film. You know what I'm saying? And as a visionary, as a creator of things, like, I appreciated that. What I didn't really have issues with the movie per se. My whole thing was, even all the way down to Nick Cannon, I think his character, and even Wesley Snipes' character, it was an over dramatization. They picked the two corniest niggas to play them characters because subconsciously the shit these motherfuckers really doing and rapping is corny. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the shit you ripping them cold, like how you just banging on people and doing what you doing for the reasons you doing them for, it's corny. You need Nick Cannon to be that nigga. Because you need to be like, he corny, but guess what? That's you.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Wesley Snipes, like, nigga, what? And then even his kid was like, yo, he bugging out. Like, there was moments, like, he giving good speeches and shit. They like, man, listen, we have to finish playing these cards. He's bugging the fuck out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's real life. That's how shit really happened. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, in your mind as a young black brother who's engaging in these acts, that's what you think. You really laying down the law. Ain't nobody fucking paying you no mind. And then you ain't even listening. You're not even taking the time to listen to the shit that they telling you that's real shit because you just so hell-bent on being a boy. You can't operate in a vacuum like that in real life because you're telling somebody at the end of the night, I don't value your life. And you're making a mistake just because you don't value your own, that people who fuck with you and love you don't value their life. There was a lot of subs in that fucking movie. I thought that I agree, like the over-sexualization of the lady, I didn't really like that per se. But I'm like, you know, there was that Jezebel element that was happening. You know, I was like, Spike, but you know what? After I really sat in my spirit and I really processed it, I was like, this shit is not even for us to really interpret like, okay, Spike bugging. This is to fucking get these niggas back in tune or just get to watching a movie again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got to use those elements as a film producer, as anybody who's a writer. You got to know, like, there's going to be highs, lows, ups, downs, and you got to have a break in the monotony because you can't just fuck a nigga brain up off the muscle. You know what I mean? Because you still got to process that. And if it's too heavy, you're going to spend a lot of minutes contemplating on that heaviness of what that last piece is, and then you're going to miss what I'm really trying to bring right behind that. So I'm going to give you this little dance, this little song, this little ass swing in your face or whatever, and then I'm going to bring it right back. So I appreciated the Chirac movie. I didn't appreciate it at first. I was offended in a lot of ways. I really was. I said, why is he explaining my women like this? Why is he doing this? And I said, I had to sit down in my spirit. I said, yeah, this is popping.
One thing that as a person who do dabble in writing, like the one person performance that really stuck out to me in this movie was John Cusack as the preacher. A lot of things that he was saying, especially in that scene when they're in the church and everything, like a lot of that stuff really spoke. Like it was like, damn, like it tugged at you for a minute and it made you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, there's a baby in that coffin. For those who haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert. Like, there's a baby in that coffin. And the things that he's saying, Like it is easier to get a gun, you know what I'm saying, than it is to get a job. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
His dialogue in this movie, if you don't pay attention to like nothing else, or like or like get offended by anything else in the movie, or just enjoy certain aspects in the movie, like pay attention to what John Cusack was saying.
And the double entendres in his messages too.
Yes.
And how Spike portrayed your boy. Like,
he had bars. Like
wow,
he had bars.
He had bars, but even his imagery and what he represented, because he had the bars, and the fact that he was emphatically what black people go to is going to be all right. He can calm us out. Like what the white man is going to tell us about Jesus and God and our salvation is going to be absolute. But to man fucking Carnival's Kente Club, I was like, yo, this is wild.
And there was a lot of heavy hitters in this movie. You know what I'm saying? You had Dave Chappelle, you had Wesley Snipes, you had Nick Cannon. Who else? Jennifer Hudson. Angela Bassett. It was some heavy. The cast was put together well. But to me, John Cusack is what stole the show for me. Like, in my opinion, that's how I feel. He was really talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, really talking.
I didn't really listen to him because I personally felt like, they're black bishops. I felt like he should have kept shit all black. But that was another sub that I appreciated about the movie, like John Cusack, like his dialogue, all that shit was on point. So I was like, well, why does, but I understand that's the church, that's where people go, and sometimes your pastor, your preacher, your priest, he look like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it was extra poignant to me when your man just fucked the robes with Kente. I was like, all right. And then he was talking.
One person who annoyed the hell out of me with this movie, I'm just being honest, Sam Jackson, man. Sam Jackson is in everything, man. He in everything, man. Like, he in every single movie, man. I don't know if it's not so much of the part that the role that he was in the movie as far as like narrating it and shit like that, or was it just him that aggravated me the most about it, him being in the movie? I don't know. That's just me. I'm nitpicking though. That's just me nitpicking.
Yeah, the movie definitely has some cringe-worthy moments that I didn't like, but I don't know. I wish a lot more people would see this movie and actually at least give it the thought, at least give it the thought of that. Because I mean, any other bullshit movie that come out, it's the theater's goddamn packed and everybody's bootlegging and seeing and talking about it. But then something that's an actual problem that highlights that, people just chalk it up to, oh, it was a bad movie, keep it moving. Mm-hmm. But, just because it was just because you ain't like the form doesn't take away from the point or the fact that, there's a problem that needs to be resolved.
Another thing that people talked about was Nick Cannon, in that role. Like, oh, he not a savage, he not a real nigga. Why is he playing his character? Like, was Denzel Malcolm X? Was Denzel really Alonzo from Training Day?
Yes,
these
he
people
was.
are actors. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are actors.
Denzel rolled up on me.
I mean, I saw it different. Again, I share my views on Nick's role, and I think that even actually picking Cannon for that role made a lot of sense. And he wasn't ass in his role. He was repping that life. He was that life. You know what I'm saying? But he still had a conscience. He still had, a lot of underneath shit he was dealing with. There was a lot of heavy shit going on in the movie. The cringeworthy shit, going back to that, I didn't like the particular scene. Spoiler alert. When they had my ladies up in there and they was like start rapping, I ain't giving up, man. I got to get with my man. And I was like, oh, these old ladies. There's a room full of old ladies. They're like, girl, bye. I'm going to get my I was like, ew.
Like the message.
Oh, the movie got some thoughts in there.
No, they wasn't thoughts. These was married women. But
yeah,
they
married
were like,
women, older women, yeah.
They were older ladies, and these young girls came in and said, "Look, no pussy, no power." And them older ladies was like, "Girl, I got to get my And it wasn't even that it wasn't that they were older. It was just the shit they was saying. They was like, "Bitch, please." And then they started stopping, you know, in rap form, like, when he get it on, I was like,
Some people are going to watch this movie, and for those who digest it, they're going to get where Spike was going with it, because he did put a focal point of what's going on in every hood in America. Whether you live in, New York, whether you live in California, whether you live in Minnesota or Arkansas, you know what I'm saying? Like anything, like any hood in America, he put a focal point on it, which is the gun violence, you know what I'm saying? Our people, you know what I'm saying? People of color, you know what I'm saying, are pretty much at their own demise, you know what I'm saying? Like we're dying because of gun violence. And he put a spotlight on that. But it's how he packaged it that will offend a lot of people, though. Yeah, I think for those who take it and consider it, right? They're going to enjoy it for what it is.
It's like school day, the good, bad hair, it's like light skin versus black, dark skin, kind of that vibe. It's like, okay, because you had this one little category of individuals, like, well, we don't gangbang. Why does this affect us? But that's the community norm. You understand?
Exactly.
But we all want the same, because we all in the same community together.
Exactly.
And so there was a lot of like messages in the movie, man. It was wild.
It was over sexualized, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot of stereotypes that some people will get offended by in the movie, but I pretty much, man, like, he did a good job as far as getting his point across, you know what I'm saying? But it's how he packaged it that will, rub people the wrong way, in my opinion.
It was very minstrel. It was like it's like watching a black man who knows how to do shit and make a minstrel show to some degree. Like, why are you doing this, sir? Why are you doing this right now in 2016? Did it feel like that to anybody, or am I the only one?
I did. It was definitely awkward.
Borderline minstrel show, like that shit was borderline.
It was definitely awkward. Like I was, if this would have been like a Spike Lee production play at some theater, you go in and you actually see people perform it as like play style, then it would have been good. It would have been perfect. But the fact that it was
it was like black people in blackface in situations. I mean, you didn't feel like that? I felt like that.
It was what?
In some places, it felt like a minstrel show, yeah.
Yeah, like it just was like, I think that's the uncomfortable you're talking about. It was uncomfortable to watch.
Did another thing, spoiler alert, when they was getting ready to come to the conclusion, and Nick's character finally, came into, the place and shit like that. They had to have sex, and whoever came first.
Yeah, that was corny. I don't know what was going on there.
Like that right there really bothered me. I'm like, really? Yeah, this is how we're gonna solve gun violence in America.
Right. This is what it comes. This is what it comes down to. That's what I felt.
Like letting off one.
That's a bar.
Is really gonna solve. That's it right there.
This is what it comes down to.
You might as well just flip the coin. Here's the tip.
Yeah.
That was weird. That was weird.
And then when he's done, he's still in the bed, and people walk up to him, "Yo, it's time to end this." It's like, come on, like, yeah, that was just. It
was a bed in the middle of the.
And everybody's watching and tuning in.
Yeah. And then in the middle of the armory, and everybody's like it's a wrestling match. And this one in this corner, like, ew, I don't even want to.
They packaged it like it was a Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, man.
Yeah,
that don't affect it like that, like.
And that fight was also a disappointment.
It got that fight got interrupted, man.
It shit happened. I ain't fucking rewind or nothing.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to bring us to the conclusion of this show. This is Real Talk Radio, Open Mic Edition. I just want to say shout out to all of the guests who called in. Shout out to Mahogany. Shout out to Dr. Funny, Akbar, my co-host, Dubai Dame. And this is your boy,
Yo.
Young Chavo the Don. Anybody want to let the listeners know where you could be reached at, follow you, and got any music out, anything like that?
Yo, it's your boy Akbar. I'm from Brooklyn. Yo, you already know. You can reach me, Akbar Best Facebook. I'm pretty sure Java the Prophet on Twitter. Akbar_Best on Instagram. And if you're a pretty lady, it goes down in the DMs. You know what I'm saying?
All right, get Yo Gotti off the phone, man. Turn him off, man. Yo, it's your boy T-My, man. You can hit me up, man. The Damian Easter Facebook, any questions and shit like that, man. I don't do those. I got other accounts, but I don't even be on them shits like that. So hey, if you find them and you reach me on that, do so.
But before you hit them up, just make sure you are fans first.
That's a bar. That's a bar. That's the insider. Y'all won't get that.
Yeah.
Anybody
You'll catch that on cam. You'll catch that on cam.
Yeah, horrible. This is Dr. Funny. I don't want y'all to reach me on Facebook, so just reach me on Twitter because I barely I don't want y'all motherfuckers to reach me on. But you can follow me on Twitter at Dr. Funny 24 DRFUNNY 24. And that's it. No Instagram, no what other apps they are. Just Twitter for now, and then maybe the Facebook later. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay. What about you, Mahogany?
Mahogany Phoenix, I'm in the back cage. You can't reach me if you don't got the signal. You know what I mean? So I will holler when we holler.
All right. This your boy Young Chavo the Don. I could be reached at on IG at Barking Dog Voice. Excuse me, Barking aka Dog Voice. And also on Facebook as Court Hendricks. And I put the link below to all of those Instagrams and Twitter names and all that. All right, y'all. It's been Real Talk Radio, Open Mic Edition. We out.
Yo.
Yeah.